Welcome back to DajibanLife. So today I'm gonna be trying to fix some of these dents. I don't have access to some of these panels because on the other side there's like another panel or whatever. So these I decided to maybe just weld something on there, like a stick or something, and just pull it out or try to pull it out. I don't know if it'll work, it probably won't, but it's worth a shot. And then once I get all the dents pulled out, I got some Bondo. I don't know if I got the hardener. Maybe it came with the hardener? I'm not sure. Where did I put it? I don't remember where I put it, honestly. There's Bondo here somewhere. Maybe in the box. Well, anyway, I'll take a look at that later. And, because I'm not at that stage yet anyway. I just need to pull all the dents out. And just go around the van and just pull all the dents. And then maybe give it a good wash. So that the Bondo can stick better. Here's the dent here. I can just pull this panel off and probably straighten that. And the bumper also needs a lot of work. I got a lip for it, like I mentioned in the last video, that I can maybe try to finagle on there. And I was also, oh, here's another dent here. So I need to pull that out. This one's pretty severe. I don't know if that'll come out easily, but I don't want to have to Bondo the entire thing, like just to make it straight, you know what I mean? That's a lot of Bondo, so I'm gonna try to like pull it. But yeah, and also my oil gauge went out, and I'm wondering why. It's probably because I don't have any oil in the engine. I think it's leaking somewhere. Probably from the plug, the drain plug. I've noticed a little drops of oil here and there, but I just put in like 4 quarts maybe like a week ago, and the oil gauge was working fine. It just went out today, so it's either there's no oil in there or the oil sensor or whatever just went out. Finally just gave up. I was like, no, you know, too much horsepower. But yeah, do that. So yeah, let me get this dent removal or dent straightening process started, and I'll update you guys as it goes. So what we got here is I just welded this angle iron, slotted angle iron I had left over from the roof rack, the homemade roof rack that I made. I had some left over, and so I just welded it to the panel. I was gonna take this panel off, but man, some of these screws are hard to get to, man. So I decided against that, and since I'll be pulling on some stuff anyway, it's not pretty, but I mean, this fan's not pretty, so I just figured, you know what, I'm just gonna be lazy and pull it this way. Hopefully it works. This stuff I found out, the angle iron doesn't weld the best because it's zinc coated, so like it turns white. I should probably like sand that off first, but it worked before, so I'm not too worried about it. And I'm not trying to make this thing like a super masterpiece, you know, even though it already is. I don't know how it could get any better, actually. So what I'm doing to it is actually making it worse, which is probably pretty accurate. So yeah, we'll see how this works. Maybe the dent pulls out, maybe it doesn't. Maybe, you know, a baby falls out of it or something. I don't know, that didn't make sense. Alright, anyway, I'll show you what happens next. Yeah, well, it's actually not bad for a minimal time investment. I mean, it was harder to cut off the angle iron off the body, and I think I kind of gouged into the panel there a little bit. I mean, it's not really super straight. I probably could have done a better job with the hammer, but I didn't have to take the panel off. And the other parts of the body that are gonna get the same treatment are not gonna be able to get the hammer anyway, so they're gonna get the same treatment anyway. So keep it consistent, you know. I just need to grind off some of these burrs here, and I think Bondo will just kind of straighten that out. So I'm happy with it, I think. I mean, that took 10 minutes, so yeah. I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not great. But like everything else I'm doing with this, you know, $800, that's all I gotta say. This van costs $800, so I'm not worried about it. I think I can call it good there. Alright, so I'll do the other body panels, and then show you guys the end result. I think there's only really 2 spots I need to do it. Is the door and the other side of the van. The rest of it I'm kind of okay with. I don't really care that much. Maybe the bumper a little bit I'll try to straighten, especially the front one. But I'm probably not going to use this method on the bumper. I'm probably going to use a hammer. The rear bumper is pretty bad, but they're kind of these small dents that I don't know if they will come out. Definitely pulling on them is not going to do anything, so I'm going to have to smash those out with a hammer. In the front, maybe I might be able to pull something out, but that metal is pretty thick, so I don't think this method's going to work. I think just 2 body panel spots and then a lot of pounding. Alright, so here's kind of the finished product. I might have pulled out this dent a little bit too much, but I mean, you know, this is probably the most ghetto thing I've ever done. I mean, I've done some pretty ghetto stuff, but I don't know, this is pretty ghetto. And I mean, I'm happy with that. Like, the dent's gone pretty much. Like, if I just fill some of this stuff in with Bondo, I mean, it's kind of wavy where this thing is, which I want to keep, which is a little too bad. I mean, I think that's as good as it's gonna get, and honestly, to me, that's all right. That's not bad. So that one came out okay, but the dent down here, it looks like they rode up on, like, I don't know, the sidewalk or something. I'm not sure. I mean, the paint's still good, so it was just something there, and they just like drove over it. Like, this is not coming out. Like, it actually tore the metal off there where I welded it, spot welded it. So, or tack welded, I guess. So yeah, I don't think that's coming out, but this isn't too bad. I can probably just fill it with Bondo and just smooth it a little bit. It's not gonna look super even, but you know, at least it won't like look like a gash there. I mean, I made it worse by sanding it down to bare metal, but whatever. I'm okay with that also. The other dents, they're kind of slight, so I didn't really. There's one in the door here, but I think it's fine. Whatever. Obviously, I showed you guys this one. The Bondo will kind of fill that one out. The bumper is going to be a different story because this guy, I'll probably need to take off and like hammer it from the inside just to straighten it. And it's also like kind of pushed up into the grill, so I don't know how I'm gonna fix this. It might just be better if I just bought a new one or got one from the junkyard that's not so torn up. But you know, I think bumpers are maybe not that expensive, maybe only like 50-60 bucks. Oh, I think I checked it. I think it was like 80 bucks last time I looked, something like that. But you know, 80 bucks, like I could buy, you know, something else, you know, like a suite that's like half of a turbo right there, eBay turbo. So I think I might just, you know, try to take a hammer to this and see how far I can get with it. The back bumper definitely needs some love because it's kind of dented everywhere. It's been hit quite a few times. I don't know how much of this I can actually straighten out. I probably can't, honestly, but it's a back bumper. I don't really care that much about it if it looks nasty, because that's part of the charm of the Dajiban. It's been through war, man. This thing, I don't know what its life was before me, but it's had a rough one for sure. And now that I'm showing it a little bit of love, I think that I got the suspension kind of figured out. I fixed that wheel bearing down there, the lock nut or whatever, and with that on, it's smooth as butter now. It does still kind of like drift a little bit here and there, but I think it's more of an alignment issue because I haven't really gotten alignment since I tweaked the suspension, and there's definitely some positive camber. But I took it to a alignment shop, and they didn't really know how to align this thing. They basically said, you know, we can basically fix your steering wheel, and that's about it. And these fucking guys, man, they didn't even fix my steering wheel, because look at that thing. It's tweaked. It's not even straight. So I took it to an alignment shop, paid 100 and whatever, 20 bucks, and they still didn't, you know, this is the one thing. This was their one job, to set this straight, and they didn't even do that. Because the camber and stuff and the caster and all that you can adjust on this car, but they were like, oh, it's not adjustable, blah blah blah. And I was like, no, you can undo the arm. What is the thing called? The control arm, the top one. There's an adjuster nuts on the top, and you can loosen those and like move it around. And they're like, oh yeah, it's pushed all the way out. And obviously they didn't do anything, and they charged me 120 bucks for doing nothing. So that was a Goodyear alignment shop. So don't go to Goodyear alignment shop. I'm sure each shop is different, and depending on which shop you go to, you either get better or worse service. But the Goodyear shop I went to, that actually could accommodate a lowered vehicle, because that was the other problem. Since my van is so low, like regular alignment machines don't work on it. So I'd go to a place that has the little claw thingy that goes over the rim instead of the thing that goes over the entire tire, because I didn't have enough clearance. So yeah, those guys didn't do jack squat, honestly. They charged me a bunch of money for it. So I'm just gonna DIY my alignment. I've watched some videos and read up on some articles telling you how you can do it. I mean, it's not gonna be perfect, but I've been driving around without an alignment for like a few months now, 3-4 months anyway. So it can't be any worse, right? Like, at least the toe and stuff will be better than it is now, and I'll take some of the camber out because it's definitely positive. Put in some negative camber, just slightly, or even maybe zero camber. It's hard to eyeball, but I do have you can use I can use my phone to get the angle of the tire or whatever, and then measure from inside tread to inside tread to get the toe. But yeah, maybe I'll save that for a later video when I actually do that. I should probably do it now, since my suspension is probably not going to change. I think I've dialed it in. I'm not going to really change anything too much on it until something breaks. I do think the rear shocks maybe need to be replaced at some point, but they're working for now, so whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'll do that soon, because the tire on the outside is wearing pretty badly. Actually, these tires probably need to be changed, because the tread is pretty much gone, but the inside tread is definitely thicker than the outside. So that's from the positive camber that's been going on. Let me check this side. This is better. Maybe there's not as much positive camber on this side as the other one. But yeah, I can correct the camber a little bit and then rotate the tires. I think the rears usually wear faster, but these don't have any camber on them. So yeah, the tread's actually way better on the rear tires than the fronts, because the fronts have just been spinning on the edge of the tire. But yeah, these probably should be replaced soon anyway, because if I put a penny in here, Lincoln's head would probably not be covered. So it might be getting unsafe, but this was like a test tire for me. I wanted to see how the fitment was, how it looked. This is like, I think 2 or 3% bigger than stock with this wheel and tire setup. So I think I'm gonna roll with this again. Either that, or maybe these are 235/65s, 17s. So I might roll with 245/60s maybe, and that'll be a little bit bigger. I think that's 6% bigger than stock, and that'll definitely tuck under here pretty well, and it'll stick out a little bit more, but not enough to rub, I don't think. I think the front rubs when I turn a little bit, but I'm sure it'll be fine, But like a little meteor tire might be kind of cool. Although I kind of like this kind of slightly stretched look of these, because these are 17x9 wheels, and the tires are only, I think, 8 inches wide. So they're definitely a little bit stretched. For a fat tire, I don't think anyone does that. For a good reason, because it doesn't really look good or bad. It just kind of looks like whatever. It looks very mediocre, but that's what I shoot for, is mediocre and ghetto. And also got the tires for like 30 bucks off of Craigslist, so I'm not really complaining. But I think I might get some new tires at some point. Now that the suspension's dialed in, there's no reason not to, and get an alignment. But I'll do that once I get the new tires on there, because the alignment changes when you change your tires anyway. So yeah, I might pull these fenders a little bit and see how much space I can gain, if I can flare them out enough that I can fit spacers under here, and have this rear tire stick out so that I gain more power, because that's what the Dajiban's all about, is power. Even though I've done no performance mods at all, 0 performance mods. Just fixed a bunch of stuff that wasn't working. Well, I think I got to a stopping point for the day, because it's getting really cold, and this stuff doesn't seem like it's drying super fast. It's still slightly tacky. So obviously here I messed up because I went back over it, tried to add some more before it was fully dry, and it just sort of like turned into like stucco. So I need to go back over that. I'll probably sand it down so it's smooth, and then add another coat there. But here on the door, it came out okay. It's definitely not done. This is my first time doing body work, so I don't really know what I'm doing. But you know, you just sort of, it's like Play-Doh. You just, you know, glop it on there and, you know, it'll work, right? Like, it doesn't really matter either, because it's really not that much better. I'm not trying to like make a show car here, so it's not super straight. I just wanted to kind of fill in some of the big like gashes and stuff, just so it looks a little bit more even. It's obviously like super like uneven over there, and then down there, yeah, Bondo isn't really meant to fill big dents. It's something I found out. So trying to fill that in is kind of a fool's errand. So I'll probably not do that. I'm probably just gonna kind of like clean it up so it just kind of looks like a dent still, but not as bad, I guess. Less of a dent? I don't know. It's fine. But I'll probably just add another layer of Bondo once this dries, maybe like later in the week or next week or something. I'll just drive around like that, it's fine. And then sand it down once the second coat is dry. And I have some primer, so just paint it with primer. And then I think I'm just gonna leave it like that, just primer it up, you know? That's how the Dajibans roll. Like, people spend a lot of money on these things in Japan, but you know, I'm not one of those people. And I have this mocked up, and by mocked up I mean just sitting on a box, because I think the bumper, I was looking at it, I did hit it with a hammer a few times. I don't know if you can tell, but it's not really budging. And after looking at like how it was damaged, it's a little bit higher on that side, you can see. So I might maybe hammer that down a little bit, because on that side it's flat right here, and on that side it's kind of like it's up. But I was thinking of buying a chain, because I don't own a chain, but maybe hooking that up to my truck. And yeah, the way that the bumper is crumpled, I think you can just pull it out with the chain, and that should kind of do it. And then to kind of cover up like the damage, I guess, I thought about I bought this light here, this light bar, thinking I would stick it up there on the roof. But when I mocked it up there, it looked too much like the van was a princess. It was like a pretty princess, you know, like ready to go to the ball. So I didn't like that. I didn't like how princessy it looked. So, because you know, this is like a man's van. It's macho. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much testosterone dripping off of this van with all the horsepower it has, that, you know, I couldn't have, you know, it looking like a pretty princess. So my other idea, since this light was no longer useful, it just kind of sat. I just had it stored. I didn't really know what to do with it. I thought maybe I would install it on the side here as like a floodlight for when I go camping, so that I could turn it on, and then, you know, like the campsite or whatever I'm doing over here would be illuminated next to the door. I thought that might be kind of nice, but this is a really powerful light for that purpose. I mean, I have smaller lights that I can just, you know, that are magnetized, so I can just stick them on the side of the van and just see light that way, or illuminate things that way. So that seemed kind of overkill. So these holes are normally covered by the plastic trim thingy, and these are just like little vents, and they don't really vent into anything, because behind that is just the plastic like guard thingy. So I don't know what the vents are supposed to like flow air into, because there's nothing back there. So I thought maybe I could repurpose this light. Instead of sticking on the side of the van, I could still keep it in the front, but put it back here. I would cut the bumper, cut these holes like right along this line. So I would cut that all the way to the size of this light, pretty much, and then mount the light on the inside of the bumper somehow. And I'm sure I could figure that out. That's usually not too hard to mount stuff in there, so that it kind of peeks out of the hole. like it would be inside the bumper but peeking out, and I think that could be pretty cool. So I was looking at it, and yeah, I thought it looked pretty sweet with that in there from far away. I don't know if this would really kind of give you the same effect, but yeah, I think that would look pretty sweet. Obviously I'll need to like put a license plate holder somewhere else, just probably lower on the bumper. I mean, I don't even have a front license plate right now. The van didn't come with one, and I didn't feel like ordering another one because you have to pay for those. But yeah, I could put it there. Obviously the structural rigidity of the bumper will be compromised because that center section will be cut out where the license plate used to go. But and also if I get an accident, that light will pretty much be trashed because that's going to take the full force. But I think it'll be fine. Alright, well, I think that's it for this week. I'm probably going to finish this off next time I work on the van. Yeah, sorry the videos have been maybe sort of boring, or sorry if they have been boring. It's just kind of a lack of funds lately to really do some of the things I want to do. So hopefully like next month, or yeah, maybe a couple months from now, things will loosen up and I can really, you know, do some more stuff, especially that exhaust. That would be really fun just because it's so stupid, and it'd be really loud, I think, and that'd be, you know, kind of funny. And you know, maybe headers at the same time, a full exhaust, I don't know, you know, like it depends on my funds. If I have enough money to get everything, then I would do it all at once, and if not, I might do it piecemeal, like a little bit here and there, because I think headers for that fit on this are only like 60 bucks or something on eBay, so, or maybe even cheaper than that. So that might be kind of fun to kind of monkey around with. But yeah, I don't know what else I would really, you know, spend money on. The exhaust is definitely one. There was something else I was thinking about doing. Oh, I was gonna sticker bomb the fenders, so that'll definitely happen regardless, because that's not that much. But the vinyl, oh yeah, the vinyl roof, yeah, the ceiling, that stuff costs a lot, and I also need to get some more sound deadener. Oh, which reminds me, I should look for that. But thanks for watching, and yeah, catch you in the next video.